Habariza Sabuhi. I'm going to break protocol a little bit and just say I want to recognize all the speakers here today for their commitment to gender equality, and I particularly want to thank UN Women and France for your leadership. The Generation Equality Forum presents a unique opportunity to renew momentum and accelerate progress on gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls. In past events for Generation Equality, I have spoken of Canada's commitment to gender equality and our efforts in Tanzania and globally. But I don't want to repeat myself today, so I want to make it more personal. I've never really thought of myself as a gender equality champion. I grew up believing that women had equal rights under the law, and if anyone told me I couldn't do something because I was a girl, I would remind them that it's illegal to discriminate. Having the laws in place is an important starting point, but it does not lead directly to gender equality in reality. I still face discrimination, both overt and more discreet. I still did not see many women in politics or positions of leadership. I joined the Air Force Reserves as a student, and all the female recruits were put into the admin trade, and the males had all kinds of choices open to them. I was interested in being a pilot, but I was told that there's no female pilots, they'll never let you in. When I graduated university, I went out looking for a job, and one potential employer suggested a job as the receptionist would be good for me. And I'm pretty sure the men they interviewed did not receive the same kind of suggestions. As I advanced in my career, I realized that other women did look to me as a role model and as a champion for them. This was particularly true when I was in other countries where gender equality was even less advanced than in Canada. On my first posting abroad, I played football in a men's league in Malaysia, and the local schoolgirls would stop to cheer me on. So I knew that they noticed that someone was challenging the prevailing gender norms. I also realized that women are not always the best supporters of other women, when a few American women tried to tell me I should not be playing basketball with the men, incidentally, who were their husbands. But I decided that I always want to be one of those that are cheering on the other women. On my first assignment as an ambassador, I was one of only 2 female ambassadors in the country. And I realized that when I took the time to show up to speak to women in the country and encourage them, it meant a lot to them. When I returned to Canada and worked on peace and security issues, I realized how marginalized women were in this realm, which led to some rather passionate advocacy around the women, peace and security agenda, which I continue to do in Tanzania. So I've experienced the inequality, and I've witnessed it around the world. And in reflecting on what I noted, I want to highlight a few strategies for addressing some of the persistent trends out there. So first, women might feel a lack of confidence in their abilities. And when you're looking for a job, people might think you're not projecting that you can do it. And it's often true that women's resumes and interview responses may be more realistic about their abilities, underplay their successes, and ascribe success to their team. Women also tend to only apply for promotions when they are sure that they surpass all the criteria, while men will apply if they meet some of them. This modesty does not work for you in a job setting. Write a list of your strengths with examples of each and highlight results that you've achieved. And use those examples in interviews, during your performance reviews, and whenever you are challenged. To tell people how good you are. Second, you often hear that women are less willing to travel or to take on remote or senior assignments because they prefer more work-life balance. Well, I think everybody prefers more work-life balance. And it may be true that some women might pass up these opportunities, but certainly unequal expectations of women at home and all the unpaid work they do is a factor. However, evidence shows that women are no more likely than men to turn down important assignments. To be sure you are considered for opportunities, women may need to be more proactive in challenging assumptions and making it clear that they are interested in these roles, particularly ones that are traditionally held by men. The third thing you hear, well, she doesn't have the right fit for the job. That's an excuse. Others in the workplace often have expectations of how women, leaders, and women leaders should behave. Traditional assumptions about leadership are often gendered, and they're based on experiences with male leadership models. Women can be penalized for being either too masculine or too feminine. You almost can't get it right. We must continually challenge assumptions and explore how people might get results differently. It is well proven that diversity in senior management is a strength for organizations, so we need to encourage those different opinions and different ways of doing things. Thankfully, many countries now have very competent women leaders, so we can point to them as examples. 50% of Canada's ambassadors are now women. They do not do things the way their predecessors did, and people can see that that's a good thing. I'm very happy that Tanzania has its first female president, because this will inspire a new generation of women leaders, and it challenges the perceptions of what women are capable of. Despite the progress, vast and disproportionate numbers of women and girls around the world continue to face violence, discrimination, and socioeconomic marginalization, limiting their participation and advancement in the economic, social, and political spheres. We need to continue to work towards addressing the major disparities among women and girls and break down barriers that are still faced by different groups of women. This transformative change is not easy, but it is the only way forward. Canada looks forward to working with and encouraging others to renew momentum and accelerate progress on gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls. Together we can and will make a difference. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on a subject I'm very passionate about. Asante sana.